listening to this, there's a good chance that you're a woman in the corporate world who feels stuck in your career and you're not sure how to advance. If that's the case, I want to let you know that I have an incredible resource that can help you. I created a promotion readiness checklist with you in mind. The checklist can help you pinpoint exactly what you need to work on to advance in your career. And the best part, it's completely free and it only takes 3 minutes to complete. I have helped countless women like you achieve their career goals, and I know exactly what it takes to succeed in the corporate world. My promotion readiness checklist is a perfect tool to help you get started on your path to success. You will find the link on the episode website, or you can go on nowomanleftbehind.com to take the quiz. Welcome back to another episode of the No Woman Left Behind podcast. I'm Rosie Zilinskas, your host, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that's really near and dear to my heart, which is leadership magnetism. We are actually focusing on leadership magnetism in the Unlock the Leader Within membership. So that's why I wanted to share this information with you as well. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is leadership magnetism? Well, let me tell you, leadership magnetism to me means how you draw others towards you, not just because of your title or your position, but because who you are and what you stand for. Today, we're going to redefine the word leadership, not as a word, but as an acronym. And that acronym is going to encompass many different powerful traits, and every leader, I believe, must have these traits. So I was kind of playing around with different things, and I wanted to really talk about leadership, but I wanted to do it in a little bit different way than just the traditional leadership. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I am going to be breaking down the word leadership, and that entire word leadership is an acronym. So let's go ahead and get started. L is for a legacy. So your legacy is obviously that lasting impact of what you are leaving behind as a leader. It's the standard that you set for others to follow. Remember, a well-defined legacy isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you inspire others to do. How do you motivate others to do whatever it is that they need to do? Ask yourself, what will my leadership legacy be? What do you want to leave behind? One of the things that I always think about when it comes to me and my legacy, I want to empower those women that are coming up behind me, and my 100 plus podcasts that I've already released, to me, is part of a legacy, because women can go back to any of those podcasts and get some kind of tip or trick or idea that they can implement in their personal career. So for me, definitely legacy is, what are you going to be leaving behind? So that's L for legacy. Okay, next is E so the E in leadership is for empowerment. So true leaders really empower others. So again, I empower women in the corporate space to advance their careers with intention and confidence. It's about giving the people that you work with the confidence and the resources that they need to succeed. So when you are empowering those around you, you're not just building a strong team, but you're also fostering independence and trust. And teams that are empowered are much more likely to succeed. They become more innovative, they become more motivated, and yes, they definitely get results. And don't forget that if you have a team, if people on your team are happy doing the work that they want to do or that they're doing, their productivity goes up 14%. So that's a win-win for you as that leader that is leaving that empowerment behind for your team. So E is for empowerment. Next, we have A for articulation. So the A in leadership is A for articulation. To me, articulation obviously is communication. That's key. And for you to be able to articulate what you are trying to convey to people in a very clear, concise idea and be able to convey your vision, that's huge. That is a lot of the work that we do. A lot of times women come to me and they ask me, "Hey, Rosie, can you please help me gain some confidence so I can go talk to my boss?" And the one thing that I always tell them is you really need to work on getting to know yourself, preparing your I always call it crafting your script so that you can actually go and have a very confident and powerful conversation with your manager. But it has to do with preparation. So the more you prepare yourself, the more you learn about yourself and know your skills and what value you bring to the table, the easier it is going to be for you to articulate your dreams and your desires. And you also will be able to avoid misunderstandings and create that space for collaboration. Clear articulation definitely equals clear direction. So the A is for articulation. Okay, next we're going to talk about the D in leadership, which is for determination. Determination is that unwavering resolve to achieve your goals. It's about commitment and perseverance and the ability to push through obstacles, because we all have obstacles in our work. But when you are determined, you inspire others to stay the course, no matter how tough things get. When you know that you get a rejection, whether it's a job rejection or a rejection of promotion, or no, there's no money for a raise or anything like that, that's okay. That's just a notch in your belt. That's just one step closer to a yes. A lot of people are like, embrace the no's, because after so many no's comes a yes. So definitely be determined, stay the course, and things will eventually change. So the D is for determination. Hey everyone, I am so excited to announce that the Unlock the Leader Within membership is finally launched and live. This segment is brought to you by our very own No Woman Left Behind. The Unlock the Leader Within membership was designed to empower you in your corporate career to advance your career with confidence. Confidence is so lacking these days. When you join the Unlock the Leader Within membership, you will gain the ability to become a high performer. You will have your custom career roadmap and more than anything. And the thing that's most exciting to me is that we will build an amazing community of like-minded, ambitious professional women that are there to help and support and learn from each other. This incredible membership is up and running, so check it out. Go ahead and scan the QR code over here, or if you're listening to this episode, go to the episode website and click on the Unlock the Leader Within membership to check it out. And now back to our episode. E is for ethics. Ethics, of course, this is our moral principles that guide our behavior and our decisions. Ethical leadership builds trust and respect. And I think that's really huge in the working environment. In a world where shortcuts are often tempting, It's those ethical leaders who really stand out and earn that long-term loyalty and positive reputation. Now, I used to be a manager for many years, and there's always information that you know about the company that you cannot share with your team. So I always shared everything that I could share with them. And of course, if I knew something that was, only for managers, I couldn't really convey or articulate that information to my team, but I always had their back. I always knew that they always knew that they could count on me. And being an ethical leader, it's just the right thing to do, right? So um, there's just so many bad things that are going on in the world that I really have always prided myself in doing the right thing. Anytime I made an error, I always was the one that went to my manager and I said, hey, you know what, I screwed up. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. But ethics, I think, is one of those things that people forget about. But again, it is your moral principles that guide your behavior and decisions. So E is for ethics. Moving on to R in leadership is for role model. As a leader, you're always being watched, and that's why it's so important to be a positive role model. You never know who's paying attention to your actions and how your actions set the tone for your team's culture. When you lead by example, you're definitely not just influencing your current team, but you're also cultivating the next generation of leaders. And I think that's really key and important because I know I've had role models throughout my career that wasn't necessarily any kind of formal mentorship relationship or anything like that. I would just observe them from afar and I would really appreciate the work that they would be doing. So R is for role model. Okay, moving on. Next, we have S. This is for synergy and the word leadership. Synergy is that magic that really happens when that collective effort of your team produces something greater than the sum of the individual contributors. It's really about maximizing that potential of everybody by leveraging their strengths. Synergistic teams achieve more and create a sense of unity and accomplishment, and they produce some amazing things. When there is synergy on your team, beautiful things happen, but it doesn't happen automatically. You have to work at it with all of these pieces of this leadership acronym. So for here, S is for synergy. Now we're moving on to the H in leadership, which stands for helpfulness. Helpfulness is all about providing support and assistance to your team. When you create a supportive and collaborative environment, you boost morale and engagement. Now, remember, in many podcasts in the past, we've always talked about how disengaged people are in today's work environment. Something between 70 and 80% of people are not engaged in the work that they do. A culture of helpfulness isn't just a nice to have, but it is an essential skill for a thriving workforce. Your team really needs to know and understand that whenever they need help, you are willing to jump in and help them. And that's one of the things that I always prided myself in doing with my team. Whenever they needed help, I would always be like, hey, how can I help? What can I do? I'll answer phone calls. I'll help you with accounts, whatever it is that they needed. I was always there to help out. And one other thing, people sometimes would introduce me if we were at events and their families were there, and they would say, this is my boss. And I would always correct them. I'm not their boss. I'm their coworker. I just have different responsibilities because I never wanted to be like, oh, I'm better than you, or I'm higher than you, or I have a better title, because it wouldn't have been helpful to the relationship. So for the H in leadership, this is for helpfulness. Moving on to the I in leadership, which stands for implementation. Great ideas are nothing without that execution. Implementation is that follow through on plans and strategies. It's about turning ideas into actions and ensuring progress. Effective implementation is what leads to that tangible results and continuous improvements. Now, if you have no follow through on your team to implement things, things will fall apart very quickly. So you need to have those people that are good implementors in your team. One of the things that I do as part of my No Woman Left Behind enterprise, I'm a certified Kolbe consultant, and that's Kolbe, Kolbe. And when we do the Kolbe assessments, we are able to figure out what your strengths are in order to get things done. So how do you instinctively use your skills to get things done? And one of the buckets that people fall into is an implementer. An implementer is someone that may need to see things visually or, be able to touch it. But without those people that can help us implement whatever it is that we're working on, things could fall apart quickly. So the I is for implementation. Okay, and then this brings us to the last piece of the leadership acronym, which is P, which stands for passion. Finally, passion is the intense enthusiasm and dedication to work on goals. Now, passion is contagious. And you might be wondering, okay, Rosie, I'm not passionate about my job. What the heck are you talking about? But you could be passionate about remodeling your kitchen, taking a vacation, putting your kids through college, maybe having another family, expanding your family, another family member. So you might be passionate about all those things, and your job is a tool to achieve and to acquire those things that you're passionate about. So when you're passionate, you inspire and energize those around you, and you can help them drive their performance to their best. And again, you don't have to be ultimately passionate about your job, but I do think that you do need to be engaged. You do need to like the work that you're doing, because if you're not at least partially uh, happy with the work that you're doing, then you may as well go and do something else, because we spend so much time at work that we really will be doing ourselves a disservice if we're not in vested or invested in our work somehow. So I highly, highly recommend that if you are not happy in the work that you do, that you look for other options. Okay, so there you have it. This is the acronym for leadership. And I think each of these components embodies the essence of that essential and exceptional leadership. So again, those components were legacy, empowerment, articulation, determination, ethics, role model, synergy, helpfulness, implementation, and finally, passion. So as you reflect on these traits, what I would like for you to do is think about how you can incorporate them into your leadership journey. And by the way, you don't have to be a manager or an executive to be a leader. You can be an individual contributor and you can still be a leader. So which one of these traits resonated with you the most? Where do you see room for growth within your role, within your responsibilities? It is really important for you to manage your career with intention and confidence. I really want to remind you that when you are working on your career, when you are intentionally learning about yourself and understanding your likes, your dislikes, your skills, creating your custom career roadmap is so critically important for you to be ready if and when that opportunity shows up. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that if you are the individual that is like, I don't like artificial intelligence, I am not getting on that bandwagon, then you are going to be holding yourself back. I read a study, a survey of an organization called Flex Jobs, and they determined that 33% of the 5,600 people that they surveyed are already using AI within the workplace. And at least 17% of those 5,600 people are using artificial intelligence to optimize their job search. So not only do we have to figure out how you're happy in your job and be intentional about managing your career, but you really will be doing yourself a disservice if you are not embracing artificial intelligence. When you are revisiting your leadership legacy, you are really going to want to make sure that you jump on that AI bandwagon, because if you're a leader at work, then and you're like, nope, I'm not using AI, that will impact your legacy and how other people see. If you're, not embracing AI at all, they're probably wondering, well, why should I? But it really is so important to embrace artificial intelligence. I did interview one of my guests in probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this guest was talking about adaptability. And one of the companies that she was working with, they went ahead and laid off 1,800 people that no longer had the right skill set that they needed them to have. And they turned right around and they hired 1,800 people with the skill set that they needed. So now more than ever, you really need to understand that we need to adapt, we need to change. And even if you're not ready to elevate in your career or get to the next level, I really, really highly encourage you to at least start working on your resume, start figuring out, putting together some kind of plan in the event that you were to get laid off or they started, cutting jobs down. Now, the job market is still really strong. Many companies are hiring. I think the thing that companies are struggling with today is getting qualified people in the door. And I can tell you right now that if you are not using artificial intelligence to optimize your job search, you are going to be leaving yourself behind. I would be happy to book a strategy call with you if you're trying to figure out what the heck, how can I get on this bandwagon of using artificial intelligence for job search. It's so, so, so important. And one of the things that I have recently created, I created a 4-hour VIP career advancement boot camp. And with this boot camp, we talk about making sure that you understand your clarity, making sure that you have your professional value proposition. We talk about your resume, and we use artificial intelligence to evaluate your resume and then update it. It's not a full resume review, but we definitely will enhance the resume. And then we're going to talk about your story vault and crafting your powerful script. So those are all things that we can do in a 4-hour time block. I will put the link to that in the show notes if you are interested in looking at exploring that. And so if you have not completed the promotion readiness quiz, make sure that you complete it, because that will give you an idea of the components that you need to start working on your focus strategy or your custom career roadmap. So I know I've just thrown a lot of information at you, but you can certainly take the information, rewatch or re-listen to the podcast. And with that, remember to be brave, be bold, and take action.